Time now for the one and only, the original Friday Night Sports Blitz.
Hey, welcome back to the Friday Night Sports Blitz. Week 8 already underway. Big night already. Now, we have a great game here, too. You know, we were talking about Cal Allen before. Well, one team that beat Cal Allen was Gregory-Portland. They also played tonight as well.
Yeah, they've had it rolling ever since their loss to Bernie a few weeks ago.
Exactly. So let's roll the highlights on the first game here. Gregory-Portland, the Wildcats taking on the Edcouch-Elsa Yellow Jackets. So Gregory-Portland trying to get something done here, but it will be the Yellow Jackets going for the first down to get things started. And this will set up a 4th down situation with 1 yard to go. And it sets up a handoff right there as he's able to get in for the Yellow Jackets for the score. And so Edcouch-Elsa already celebrating, and then that would lead to a 7-0 lead for the Yellow Jackets. So Gregory-Portland trying to get the ball to Gabriel Juarez for the big-time game before he is knocked out right there. So GP playing from behind here to get things started, but Reed Dooms would try to make sure that that lead was no more for the Yellow Jackets. That was a touchdown. Brody Mitchell for the 25-yard touchdown.
Yeah, back and forth battle so far. Edcouch-Elsa, they only scored 3 points against Flower Bluff last week.
Exactly, and so now GP trying to capitalize off of that. Gabriel Juarez really getting things done on the ground, and Reed Dooms with a dime. That's Brandon Coates wide open in the end zone, 35 yards. And that's a 14-7 lead for the Wildcats. Let's take a look at the final score. They really started to get it going, and they did in the end. 43-13 was the final. GP still rolling.
All right, same district. Interesting story this week. Chris Steinbrook named the interim superintendent for Flower Bluff. So he's now Chris the Super Steinbrook.
I like that.
All right.
Like Superman.
But he's staying on as coach throughout the year. Yep. Playing Mercedes, and here, second play of scrimmage. Jaden Pelucio going up top for Jaden Raines for the score. Hornets go up 7-0. Steinbrook is now interim AD as well. Clint Elwood here. So just everyone, trading titles all over the place here, at least for the next few months. Well, here, Mercedes rolling the dice several times in the first. 3 separate 4th down conversions, including this one from Aaron Cortez to Ethan and Ciso. Moving the chains are the Tigers. Then later in the drive, Cortez with the keeper, and wait for it, kind of hiding back there, and then eventually going to get his way in. So Mercedes tying the game 7-7.
Wow. All right. So Flower Bluff, let's see what they can do.
Okay. It took them a minute to get that offense going. We saw the second play. Well, they had some stalls, and here Pelucio looking for anybody, somebody, just going to take off back to the left side, and a big first down. The Hornets would go up 14-7 again right before the half. He fumbled it and actually got it back. A crazy play. Well, let's take a look at the score. Bluff eventually gets it going second half, 55-14, the final.
There you go. So 2 games in a row where it started off slow and finished off with a good score. All right, next up is the Rockport-Fulton Pirates and the Beeville Jones Trojans. Now, these 2 teams facing off in Beeville. Rockport-Fulton got their first win of the season last week, so trying to see if they can continue that momentum into this one.
Yeah, all local game, and Beeville, they've been rolling under Chris Souza this year. Rockport still trying to kind of find their way.
And they found their way right at the beginning of this game. That was Sean Howell with the big-time pass to Blake Garcia. And so Chris Souza trying to game plan here after they get the ball, and after from Elijah Sestada to Darian Perez. You'll hear that name again as he is able to take it into the end zone for the rushing touchdown. They went for 2. They were up 8-0. Now Rockport-Fulton on 4th down, trying to get something done here. Sean Howell keeping the drive alive, and Dawson Phillips stays in bounds.
Great tiptoe catch there.
But the Beeville defense was successful, so it forced them to kick this field goal. Cristobal DeLone was able to score that, and so the lead was cut 8-3 But now Beeville Jones trying to get something done on the trick play here. It tricked me out for a second. I couldn't even figure out where the ball was until all of a sudden there it was on the other end of the field. And there's Darian Perez again taking it all the way to the house. Beeville Jones extending their lead after another 2-point conversion to 16-3. So Souza loving what he can see in 2 weeks in a row.
That's one of those staples of those Chris Souza teams, man. You don't know where that ball is half the time.
Absolutely. And so now let's see what the final score was. It resulted in a big-time win for Beeville Jones. They scored 50, and Rockport-Fulton, after winning for the first time last week, they lose to Beeville Jones.
All right, so Beeville, trying to get back. They finished as the 4 seed last year in that district. But Souza was telling me this offseason, like, he really felt they let that district get away. You think, oh, well, 4th, but they lost all 3 of those games that they lost by 1 possession. So it's not like they were getting blown out in games. So he said, this is the year we're going to compete for a district title. And, they still got some good teams to beat like Lavernia, but hey, this is a chance they could do it.
Exactly. And I did talk to Chris Souza right before the start of that game. And, he said he knew Rockport-Fulton was coming off of that win. So they had to make sure they had their guard up and ready for anything. And obviously they were prepared for the challenge.
And that Bluff GP district, both might have had their struggles a little bit early, handled their business, and I think they're still on that collision course for week 11. All right, well, if you just can't wait for your scores coming up in the next segment, just after a few commercials, you can head on to our website right now, KIIITV.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, KIII3 Sports, Facebook at 3 Sports Blitz. We're back after the break.
More Friday Night Sports Blitz is next up. Stand by.